Hi everybody, welcome back to another week of Meals on the Family SeeSaw. It's Monday evening and tonight we're having something a little bit different, a tandoori fish burger. So this is just some cod fillets. I used frozen, which I defrosted through the day at work, while I was at work. And then when I got home I just coated them in some tikka masala curry paste, so not curry sauce but the curry paste. We use the Patak's one. Just coated it in some of that, cooked it in the oven for about 15 minutes or so, just until the fish started to flake. Got that on some brioche buns. I've got some sweet potato kind of wedges fries that I've just coated in olive oil and some salt and pepper. Again, baked in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. And then this kind of pickle on the top. This is a sliced red onion, some sliced cucumber, a chopped red chilli, you can see in there. And I put that in a bowl with some rice vinegar, so Asian style vinegar, and just a teaspoon of sugar. Just mix that all up, and then while the fish and the sweet potatoes were cooking, I stirred it around a few times to sort of pickle it. And so I've just got that on the top to give it a little tang. So looking forward to this, tandoori fish burgers with sweet potato fries. Hi everybody, so it's Tuesday evening and we're having our family favourite brinner. So these are the chicken chipolatas that I got from Aldi. We've got some streaky bacon, combination of Toney likes his crispy and I like mine soft, so there's actually a combination of the two. Caleb has opted for one fried egg and one boiled egg. And then we've got some of the crispy little potatoes that I make in the active fryer with just some seasonal sprinkled over them. I've got scrambled eggs with, again, the sausage and bacon. I've also got some mushrooms, potatoes and baked beans. And then Toney is having a cheese omelette, and he'll have the meat, potatoes and beans with his as well. So that's our Tuesday night supper, a good old-fashioned brinner. Hi everybody, so it is Wednesday evening. We've just got back in from football practice. So something really quick and easy tonight. So I used my old standby of a whole chicken, which I put into the crock pot this morning with just the chicken, nothing else, left it on low all day. And it cooked while we were out during the day, falling apart, falling off the bones. So I took all the meat off the bones, and then I've used that to make some chicken quesadillas tonight. So these are really simple. It's just tortilla wraps, and then inside, you can see if I can lift a side up here, we've got some of the chicken shredded. I've got some of the corn that has peppers mixed in with it as well. I've got some chopped spring onion, you can see there. Some salsa and some grated cheese. So I just put 2 tortillas with that squashed in between, sprayed the outside of the tortillas with some cooking oil, cooking spray, and then just popped them in a hot oven for about 5 minutes. So it's a bit like Mexican pizza really, except the filling is enclosed within the 2 tortillas. So really quick and easy. We're just going to cut these up into quarters and have them with some extra salsa on the side for dinner tonight. Hi everybody, so it's Thursday evening and tonight we've got a really super simple casserole dish for supper. So it's a kind of meat and vegetable and rice casserole. So that is Caleb's on the plate, but if I show you the actual casserole dish here, you're going to see the layers a little bit more. So in the bottom of the casserole I put a cup of uncooked long grain rice and a cup of water. Just kind of stir it together in the bottom of the casserole. On top of that, I'd browned off a package of mince. So we obviously use turkey mince, but you can use whichever mince you like. You could use beef mince, lamb mince, corn mince, pork mince, whatever you've got. And in with that, while I was browning it, I added just a chopped onion, just to soften it a bit. So then I sprinkled that all over the top of the water and rice. Then on top of that, you want to add some chopped vegetables, and you can really use whatever you've got. So I used some chopped courgette, so just halved it and then halved it again, and then halved it and then cut it into little half moons. And then I've also used a chopped tomato on top of mine. Now I had my salad tomatoes that I got this week with grocery shopping were really big ones, but you could use a couple. You could use some canned tomatoes if you drained them off. You wouldn't want quite all the liquid from that. But you could put mushrooms, you could put leeks, you could put peppers, whatever you like really on top of the meat layer. And then over the top you pour a can of tomato and basil soup. So I used it was the Aldi own one, tomato and basil, and I just made it up to a pint with some water. So I think a can is about 14 ounces and you want about 16 ounces. 400 grams, you want about 500 grams or mils of soup. So you just pour that all over the top and then cover the dish with foil, put it in the oven for about 40 minutes. I baked it at 180 Celsius, so that would be about 160 fan. Then when after 40 minutes you want to take the foil off and sprinkle over cheese. Now I've used mozzarella cheese, but you can again use whatever cheese you've got. Sprinkled over some grated cheese, put it back in the oven for about another 10 or 15 minutes until the cheese goes lovely and gooey and melty. So this is, I don't really know what to call it, it's just meat, rice and vegetable casserole, which sounds really uninspiring, but it is a really tasty, easy way to use up any leftover vegetables you've got in your veggie drawer at the end of the week. It's rice, it's meat, it's cheese, there's not really anything not to like in there, and the soup just gives it lots of flavour. So I hope this is one that you'll give a try. Hi everybody, so it is Friday evening and tonight we've got something that in the States would be called a Tater Tot Casserole. We don't have tater tots here, so I've got these little potato puffs that I got from Tesco's in the frozen food area. Just little puffs of, little balls of mashed potato with like a crispy coating on. But essentially this is mince seasoned up with some chili powder and cumin, and then it's got chopped tomatoes, some green beans, some carrots, and a can of mushroom soup poured over that, and then you top it with the potato tots and you then bake it in the oven as a casserole. So I have made a video, a cook with me video of this one, so I will post that. It will probably be up before this video's up, so if you just look back on my videos from this week you should be able to find it. But it's really simple casserole, quite tasty, and one that you can vary to suit whatever you've got to hand in terms of vegetables and whatever flavourings you like. So Friday night and we're having a Tater Tot Casserole. Hi everybody, it's Saturday evening and tonight we're having chicken potato pie with just some canned vegetables. So this is a chicken. I cooked it in a crock pot as I always do, a whole chicken. Just let it cook for a few hours on high as I put it in when I got home from grocery shopping. Pulled all the meat off the bone. And then in a saucepan I just melted a tablespoon of butter. When that had melted I put in a couple of the chopped baby leeks. So I bought some baby leeks today and I just chopped a couple of them up, put them in. Let that cook for about 10 minutes on a really low heat, just until the leeks were nice and soft. Then I added a tablespoon of flour, just stirred that in for about a minute, and then I took it off the heat and stirred in 300 mils of chicken stock, just gradually added it in. So it's a bit like making a white sauce, but you're using a chicken stock, so you're making more of a gravy. But then you add 100 mils of double cream off the heat, just add that in, stir it through, bring it up to a boil just to let it thicken a little bit. And then once that was done, I put into that the chicken meat, some frozen peas, some chopped fresh parsley, a little bit of black pepper. I think that was all I put in. Yes. Oh, and a tiny little bit of lemon juice. And then I put that into a casserole dish and I've topped it with cheesy mash. So it's just potatoes mashed together with a little bit of butter, a little milk, and then a handful each of cheddar cheese and Parmesan cheese. Put that on top of the chicken mixture and baked it in the oven for about 20 minutes. Everything was cooked, so it was just a matter, a bit like a shepherd's pie, just kind of letting it all cook together. And then we've just got it with some canned corn and carrots. So that's mine, that is Caleb's. And so for Saturday night supper, we've got chicken and potato pie. Hi everybody, so it's Sunday evening again and we've had a really busy day today. We started our day with rugby at one of our local rivals, really great rugby event. Caleb's team played 2 games and they played really well, so Caleb had a great morning. Then we had a little break at home before we then went back out. One of Caleb's football teammates had a birthday today. And they had a party at the local swimming pool, so they had an hour swimming with all the inflatables and stuff in the pool, And then they went up to one of the studio rooms at our leisure centre and had party food and cake and all of that stuff. So really busy day. So I wanted to do a roast dinner today. I bought a pork loin roast, but I just didn't have time to be at home and cook it in the oven. So I cooked it in the crock pot, which cooks more like pot roast style. So the American way of doing roast dinner is typically a pot roast rather than the way we do it here in the UK, which just means it's cooked long and slow in liquid, like in a gravy of some kind with vegetables and things like that. And if you cook your roast in the crock pot, it has a similar sort of effect. So I took the pork loin roast, I made a little rub with some garlic, minced garlic, sage, rosemary and salt, and I rubbed that all over the pork, and then I just seared it in a frying pan for just a few minutes on each side, just to get a bit of colour. I then put it in the crock pot and I poured over about 1/3 of a cup to 1/2 a cup of white wine, just regular white wine. And then I just left the whole thing to cook for about 6 hours this afternoon. So it's going to fall apart, which is how pot roast comes out of the oven if you cook it in the oven too, rather than being able to slice it like you would a traditional roast. So this is Caleb's. Now he's had lots of food today. So he had breakfast. After a rugby game, there's always a meal for the players. And at Caleb's age group still, it's usually hot dogs. So they had hot dogs after the game. On the way home, Toney and I were hungry, so we stopped to get cheeky McDonald's, and Caleb had a bit of that as well. And then he's had party food. So he's not that hungry, but he did say he wanted a little bit of dinner. So we've got the pot roast pork with steamed vegetables, mashed potatoes and gravy. And that is mine. A really autumnal style of roast dinner, actually, being pot roast style. But really delicious. Can't wait to get tucked into this after our very busy, sporty weekend. Thank you for joining us for this week of Meals on the Family Seesaw, and we hope to see you back here soon.